Do you want to know how to handle forms in React? Then watch this. Hey guys, welcome to Codemas Day 14. Today and tomorrow I want to talk about my two favorite methods to handle forms using React. Today we will talk about the first one and tomorrow about the second one. So make sure to watch this and also tomorrow's video and figure out which method you prefer the best. Without further ado, let's get started. So here I have created a simple form that has a text input, a number input, a text area, checkbox, some radio buttons, and a select. It also has a submit button with no subliminal messages at all. So this is our form here. We have the text input and then the number input and all the rest that we saw on the browser. Nothing special here. So the first way to handle forms in React is to change the value of an input, and while you're changing it with the onChange prop of the input, we pass it to the state and save it there. So let's try this method first. Now since we will be using the state, let's call the useState hook. So useState form values. That will be an empty object. Let's also import it, and then let me fix that. Nice. Let's create a function here, const on input change, that will take the event, actually the event target, let's destructure it already, as a parameter, and let's just console log the target, or actually the target value. Now inside the input, the text input, let's say, we will add an onChange prop that will take the onInputChange function as a parameter. Let's save, let me give some space here. And now on the browser, when we change the value of the text input, so value, we will see here that it console logs it properly. So we can take this and put it into the state. So let me change console log to set form values to an object that will actually, let me put it into parentheses to auto return it, and then target name, target value, like this. Now let me also add a useEffect hook that will console log the form values. So useEffect, let me import it and also remove this, and then form values will be inside the dependency array, and then console log form values. Now let's go back to Chrome, refresh. So the hook is already called, we have an empty object, so let's change that. Value. So the state updated correctly. We have the text here, which is the name of the input, and then we have the value. Whatever I write, it is updating. Value is here. Now we can copy this and paste it on the other inputs. So let me paste it here, and also the text area, the checkbox, and then the radio buttons, and also the select. Let me go back to Chrome and start adding values again. So the text value is here. Let me clear the console and continue with the number 555. Now it is updating, as we can see here, but what happened to the text value? To fix this, we have to go back to the setting of the state and say we want the previous values as a parameter to our callback function, and this is the reason we actually use the callback function. And then prev, like this. Now if we go back to Chrome and refresh, let's try again. Text value, and then we have 555 for the number, and we see that we have the text and also the number correctly. Now lorem ipsum for the text area, ipsum. Now let me clear the console and continue with the checkbox. What happened here? Checkbox is on. Let me untick it. Checkbox is again on. And then with the radio buttons, radio 1, radio 2, radio 3, it works. But what about the checkbox? Now for the checkbox, we cannot use target value. It will always be on. What we can use is the target checked. But how will we know if we want to use target value or target checked? We can add a check here. See what I said, right? So target type equals to checkbox. Then we want to use the target checked, otherwise the target value. Let me go back, refresh, and see here, lorem ipsum, we have the text area correctly, and then the checkbox is true, false, works correctly. Now the last one we didn't try is the options here, the select. So we have select option 2, then select option 3, like this. Now the problem here is that, for example, the select has a selected option already, a default value, let's say. Option 1 is already selected, but we cannot see it reflected on the state. Let me add some text here, and we see no select here. But if I manually change it, we can see option 2. Thanks for watching this video. If you liked it, please hit the like button and also subscribe. Make sure to be here tomorrow for part 2. I'll see you there.